Hey guys, my name is Cynthia Veronica, and today I want to talk to you about a procedure I got about 6 years ago that still haunts me to this day, and it is underarm lightening. So I didn't even think that my underarms were that dark to begin with, but I ended up getting this procedure done on a whim. I saw this procedure in the list of services for this med spa that I occasionally went to get my nails done, and so I decided to go for it. I believe in full transparency, so I'm just going to tell you the name of this place. It's called Recharge Medical, and it's in San Francisco. Don't go there. So at the appointment, the esthetician, whose name was Danny, who also happened to be the same guy that did my nails at that same med spa, was the one that did the underarm lightening procedure. So the appointment was really bizarre from start to finish. I mean, I've done a lot of different procedures. I've done facials, I've done laser hair removal, the list goes on. I've done a lot of different things, and I will say this was probably the most awkward experience I've ever had at a med spa before. So he didn't really direct me on what to do when I first walked into the room where he was going to do the procedure. So he just kind of walks in, I walk in, I follow him in, and he just proceeds to walk out of the room. And I was just like, oh, so should I take my shirt off and then put a towel around my chest? Like, do you have a towel? Like, what should I do? It was just really weird because he wasn't really communicating clearly on what it was I needed to do. So I managed to get a towel from him, and then I start to remove my shirt and put the towel around my chest, and he just storms in really quickly. He doesn't even knock, like, hello, are you decent? No, nothing. He just like storms in a minute later, and I'm just scrambling to put my towel around my chest. He didn't really give me that much time to change, and I just feel like he did it on purpose to try to catch me while I was undressing. So it was definitely kind of creepy. So then he starts to inspect my underarm area, and he does something that is very critical, and I really should have questioned him on it. He starts to get hand sanitizer, and he puts the hand sanitizer in my underarm area. And I thought, that's really strange. Normally when, a part of my body is being cleaned, my anesthetician use soap and water or some sort of, cleanser. I really should have said something. The other thing was the way that they advertised it in the brochure was really obscure. They just said underarm skin lightening or skin whitening. They didn't actually explain what the procedure entailed. So as I'm in the room, it wasn't until he was like in the middle of doing the procedure that I understood what was happening, because he never said what was going to happen. It was never disclosed. It was never described. He just started doing the procedure, and I really should have asked a lot of questions before he even started, because I was surprised. I was expecting him to walk me through it before he even started doing anything, and he said nothing. Actually, he did tell me mid-procedure, do you want to know how it works? Do you want me to explain it to you? And I said yes, and he started to explain it, and then in the middle of his sentence, he just stopped. He just was like talking and then stopped. And I thought, okay, maybe it's a language barrier. But, later on I realized he just didn't know what he was doing. This guy had no clue what he was doing and how the procedure even worked. So I start to realize that what it entails is it's basically sort of like a chemical peel, or it's a acid-based cream that he puts in my underarm. And so he put it in that area, and then he just left the room. Didn't say, I'll be back in a minute, nothing. He just stormed out, and I was like, okay, is this guy coming back? Like, it was really weird for someone to just storm out just right after they put the cream on. But that's what he did. So I'm sitting there, and, maybe 5 minutes go by, maybe a little bit more time, and it's starting to burn really bad. So he finally comes in the room, and I say to him, it's burning really bad. Please get this stuff off. And he said, yep, it's burning. Now you know why we make you sign a waiver before you get this procedure done. He actually said that that was like the worst thing he could possibly say. Now you know why you signed a waiver. So it was pretty maddening at that point. So he takes off the cream, and I think he got it off with a towel and some warm water. And at that point, my skin is screaming hot red. It's tender, and you could tell it was super pink. And then he starts bragging about how for him, he puts that chemical peel on his face, and he puts it on for a lot longer than what I had it for. And for him, it's like nothing, and he can handle it. So here he is bragging about how he can handle this peel, and he does it on his face, which is more sensitive in his opinion than my underarm. And it was just a really bad feeling. I didn't like that he was comparing and, you know, trying to make it seem like I wasn't strong enough to handle it. But honestly, I do think that it was the hand sanitizer that he put beforehand that really exacerbated the pain and the burning. And had he not done that, I probably would have been fine. So after he takes off the cream, I have a little bit of hair in my underarm area. I hadn't shaved. So he gets hot wax, and he starts to put the hot wax on my underarm. And I stop him just as he's about to place it. And I say, please don't put hot wax on my underarm. Can you pluck it instead? And he says, sure. So he puts away the hot wax. He starts to pluck the hairs on my underarm, and he is pulling on my skin as he's doing it. Like, he's not just plucking at the hairs, he's just kind of carelessly doing this. And as he's doing this, he's plucking my skin and grabbing it, and my skin is already super tender, super red, and it hurts so bad. And I should have just told him to stop. You can't do anything right, just stop. Because I mean, I was in so much pain, and he was just making it worse and worse. So once he's done, he starts to leave the room again. And I ask, okay, can I get dressed now? Because this guy just walks in and out the door like nothing, doesn't even tell me anything. And he says, yep, go ahead, get dressed. So I quickly start to get dressed, start to put my bra, my shirt. And as I'm putting on my bra, he storms back in, doesn't knock again, just storms back in. And I'm like, oh my God. So I turn around, and I start to turn around, and I start putting my shirt on, and he's just looking at me and smiling. And it was just so creepy. I know he's gay, but it was just so creepy. He definitely just wanted to catch me while I was in the middle of getting dressed. And it was just a gross feeling, especially with the look on his face. And I just wanted to get out of there at that point. So I go up to the counter, and the procedure, the skin lightening, costs $100. By the way, if I were to get an entire bottle of chemical peel and do the same procedure on myself, the entire bottle would have been like $40, $50. I paid $100 for like a one-time procedure. So this was definitely expensive for putting cream in the underarm area. So I pay the $100, I leave, I'm in so much pain, but I think, whatever, I will heal and I will be fine at some point. No, I do not heal. I was completely wrong. This place pretty much scarred me for life. The skin where he applied the cream was so painful. I actually couldn't sleep for 2 days straight. It's been 6 years since I got that procedure, and I still wake up in the middle of the night from pain in my underarm. At this point, there's just one underarm that really hurts, and I will wake up in the middle of the night and I will just not be able to go to sleep because of the pain, and I'll have to actually get an ice pack. It hurts so bad, I need to numb it with the ice pack, and that's actually what the dermatologist told me to do. Put some ice in the underarm area to relieve the pain. And it does work, but it definitely keeps me up at night. It had the complete opposite effect of what I wanted. I wanted skin to be lighter in the underarm, which it wasn't that bad to begin with. Like I said, I had done it on a whim, and it ended up darkening the skin. It was all purple and red and wrinkly. It got wrinkly in my underarm area after I got the procedure done. You know, I couldn't wear tank tops afterwards, and I still really don't. And when I do, or when I wear shirts that, you know, show my underarm, if I raise my hand, I'm very self-conscious of it, and I don't raise my hand. Ever since I got the procedure at Recharge, it just made me hide my underarms, and I never had to do that before. This was the worst experience ever. I actually have a friend who got laser hair removal done at Recharge Medical as well, and he had a really awful experience. So I don't think it's just this guy. I think in general they just don't know what they're doing, because my friend, when you go in for laser hair removal, I've done it many times, different parts of my body. I've done it pretty much all over. And with laser hair removal, you're supposed to shave the area before you go in for the procedure. And they didn't instruct him to shave. Not only did they not instruct him to shave, they did the laser hair removal with, you know, the long hairs on his belly, on his chest. And he ended up coming home with scars and with redness. They pretty much scarred him. So they just don't seem to know what they're doing. I also looked at different reviews for Recharge Medical in San Francisco, and you know, a lot of people, especially ones that get chemical peels, will say really negative things. Just be careful about where you get procedures done. Also, try not to get procedures done on a whim. Think about it. Ask questions beforehand. Ask questions along the way. And if anything ever seems weird to you, just get up and walk out. This was a really big lesson for me, and I hope it brings awareness to others. So thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye for now.